Hello and welcome to my Tarot Corner. So today I found a way to use my Universal Tarot. These cards are enormous, as you can see, and it's way too big for me to shuffle and actually do readings with, but it's great for a significator card that is just giving us a whole information about the readings and what we are going to read about. And this is about Harry and Meghan's victimhood narrative, which both of them are trying to tell us that they are actually victims. And we can see that, first of all, with the name of Harry's book, Spare. This is not an empowerment book. This is not a book that speaks about how he grew and how he took care of himself. Just by the name, and the body language guy described that very, very well. Just by the name, you can see that this is a spiteful book. This is a book that has come to settle scores. This is not a book for healing. This is a book that comes to cultivate Harry's victim narrative. So I'm going today to use three Universal Tarots. So the first one is the Universal Tarot Professional Edition, and I took out the card of the Hangman, which is the best card to represent victimhood. And the Hangman is a person that needs to change his point of view, that needs to start looking at things differently. But the Hangman shows us how difficult it is because he's not grounded. And despite the fact that he is quite happy, he's not standing on solid ground. He is hanged by 1 foot from this pole, and he is in a way feeling that he is sacrificing himself. And because of that, it's impossible for him, or even very difficult for him, to change his point of view, to change his narrative. And with Meghan, we see that with every podcast that she makes. In the last podcast, she decided to lash out at the people that called her a bully by telling us that she's not a bully, that she's particular, that she is specific, that so many people have shown how she is cowering when she's entering a room. I mean, really, you can see her shoving Harry away. You can see her shamelessly cutting into his conversations. You don't see her cowering when she's entering a room. And so many people have said what a bully she is. So now she's trying to tell us that because of her, because she is a victim, people are calling her all sorts of names, and especially she is using the angry black woman stereotype. And as so many people said, these archetype podcasts are actually about stereotypes, not about archetypes. Now, I did a Google search just the day that that podcast came out, and I didn't get the results that she is trying to tell us that those are the results. But today I did a second search, and then the first result was about angry women. You can see that in the thumbnail. I'll put it in the thumbnail. The second was about black girls are ugly, which is a post-op that someone wrote about herself as feeling ugly because she's black. And then there are quite a lot of other articles that are about empowering women, some about salaries of women. So things changed with Google after the podcast came out, because now the podcast is also is coming up in the Google search. So I think that the fact that she has put it out there has changed the way Google sees this question, this line of questioning, and gives us different results, because it wasn't like that on Tuesday. Okay, so as I said, I'm using I'm using 2 decks. I'm going to take 3 cards for each of them, and then I'm going to take 1 card about their own victimhood together. How do they inspire each other with this victimhood narrative? So the first one is the Golden Universal Tarot, and this is for Harry. And before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer. It's in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourself. So for Harry, it's the Golden Universal Tarot, and for Meghan, it's the Universal Tarot, the plain one. And I do have another one, which is the mini tarot deck, but I've decided not to use it here. So let's start with Harry, clearing the deck right now. Okay, so Harry's victimhood narrative. How does he feel it? Why does he feel it? And can he get over it? Harry's victimhood narrative. Can he change his perspective and his point of view? What is hurting him, and why is it hard for him to release the source of pain? Okay, so it is not an SOS deck reading, so I'm taking out, I'm cutting it to 3, and I am just taking out 3 cards. Then I'll take out 3 cards for Meghan, and we will see what both of them get. Okay, so that's Harry, and now Meghan. So let's clear the deck. Okay, so Meghan's victimhood narrative. Why does she have that? What is making her feel so hurt? Why is it impossible for her to release that hurt? Can she move on? Can it be helped? What is causing Meghan's victimhood narrative? Okay, cutting this deck into 3 and taking out 3 cards as well. So let's take 3 cards, and then we'll start opening the cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open all 3 cards, and then I'm going to look at it. And I'm not taking out negative cards. So I'm going to look at it all together. Okay, here we got 2 cards. So I'm going to leave this one here. And okay, so let's look at Harry's. So Harry's first card is the Lover, the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups is a card that speaks about the need to be active. It's a card that is calling Harry to be more of a suitor and not wait to be courted. So this card is actually showing us that for Harry, he expected that things will just come to him. He's not ready to... Where's my feather? Oh, here it is. He's not ready for for to do things by himself. He's not ready to be active and to create his own future. This is a card that is telling us that he needs to be more active, he needs to be more assertive, he needs to know the universe what he wants in order to make this happen. Now it came in the reverse, but I'm still looking at it at both aspects of the card, and I will do that with all of the cards. The negative aspect of the card is that he is a passive card, and he is following Meghan with closed eyes. He is believing that everything just happens without any one of any control of his. So there is no need for action, there is no use in action, because everything just happens from above. And the next card just shows us how difficult it is, because this is the strength card, and the strength card is talking about finding your control within you. This is the card of the ego and the super ego, and this is about being able to find control within yourself, being able to control the narrative, being able to be serene, to be courageous, to be faithful, and to have some self-confidence, to have control. This is a card that shows us, both of these cards together are just showing us that Harry needs to take control over his life. He needs to be more active. And as long as he is with this victimhood narrative, he is unable to do that. And this is why we got the Five of Swords as the third card. And the Five of Swords is another card that is calling Harry to be active. The Five of Swords is a card that says, do not stay on the fence. You need to get off the fence and do something. You need to be active. You need to take a stand. You need to start doing things. You cannot wait for things to happen by themselves. You need to ask for the right kind of help. And many people have said that, and I'm saying it over and over again. Harry needs help. He needs the right kind of therapy. And I just heard that he wants to become a coacher, which made me really laugh, because he's a person with so many problems that it's just funny that he's even thinking about becoming a coacher. This card is a card that is telling him to start doing things. No matter what the result is going to be, you need to be active. You need to start doing things. But this card is showing us how afraid he is of getting hurt, how isolated he feels, how unsatisfied he feels. And this is a card of someone who has tendency to look for someone who will make the choice for him. So both of these cards together are showing us that Harry is feeling more comfortable when Meghan is making the choices. And I heard also that he said that he is not comfortable making appearances about his book without Meghan. But Meghan is very comfortable in having interviews without having him, and even not even calling him in his name. So Meghan is going out without him, and he doesn't feel like he has control over his life. He feels weak. This is what this card is showing us. He feels that he doesn't have the strength to stand on his own 2 feet. And this is why he is the Hanged Man, and this is why he has this victimhood narrative. Okay, so let's go to Meghan. And what do we see with Meghan? So first of all, we see with Meghan the Tower. Meghan's foundations are very weak. Every week she says a new set of lies, and her lies are very easy to debunk. First, she said in 2015 she went to Malta saying that she has Maltese connections or Maltese past, but she didn't have any, and she was actually using that in order to get a free ride to Malta. So this is one thing that, and then now she's saying that she's 43 Nigerian. And we know that Nigeria is a country who has many tribes, and she is caught in the lie the minute that her interviewee asks her what tribe is she, and she has no idea because she has told a lie, and she cannot take it to the next level. So she's just saying, I intend to get into that even closer. But when you're doing an DNA testing or genealogy testing, you get a specific results. You get exactly what kind of Black person you are. Now we know that Doria herself is not 100% Black, so Meghan cannot be 43% Nigerian. And Sumi said today, did a very good, very good video talking about Meghan constantly saying things that are not true. Every time she's doing a podcast, we see her lies debunked. With the deal or no deal, we know about that. So many lies, so many things that she's saying that are debunked. So her foundations are very weak. And this causes her to start acting as the victim, because that is the only way for her to get some kind of sympathy. So she's trying to get some sympathy. Harry really feels a victim because he doesn't have any ground under his feet. Meghan is not really a victim, and she doesn't really feel like a victim. Her foundations are very low. Everything that she says is debunked. She's been caught in her lies over and over again. So everything that she's building is collapsing, and she feels that being a victim or acting as a victim is a good way to get the sympathy of the people that she's working with or people that she is talking to. So this is the first card, and the second card is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands, that's the aloof knight. That's the knight that finds it hard to find things that are interesting for him, things that ignite him. He's a knight that is losing opportunities because of his being aloof, because he's not enthusiastic, because nothing really excites him. And this knight is going towards the tower. So you can see here that actually this is like Meghan with her inability to get excited from the things that she's doing, because nothing really does excite her. She's just going towards the tower that is collapsing, because she never finds anything that can keep her interested for a while, and every time she's jumping to the next bandwagon, just like the Page of Wands. So this is exactly what we see here. And the third card is the Emperor, and the Emperor is the person that controls the material world. This is the Father card, and she's going away from the father. Okay, so this is Meghan turning her back to her father and trying to find something in her other side, but she's finding a tower that is toppling. So this is Meghan, that part of her victimhood narrative is also connected to her father and her father's side of the family. She is trying to tell us that her father hurt her so much, that her sister hurt her so much, that her brother hurt her so much. Everyone is to blame for Meghan's feelings of victimhood. She feels that she is a victim of everyone, but she would really like to be the emperor, to be someone who controls the material world, to be authoritative, to be someone who people are looking up to, but she is actually going away from that image. So she's unable to become this authoritative figure. She can not be someone who people look up to. She is just going away towards the falling tower. So these are the cards that are for both of, for each one of them. Now I got an extra card for Meghan, and I am going to take one for Harry, because what I'm going to look into now is the influence that both of them have on one another. So this is Meghan's influence over Harry, and this is Harry's influence over Meghan. So let's see what we get. And here we got the Page of Pentacles. Now it came out in the upside, but as I said, we're looking at the negative and positive aspects of the card. And the Page of Pentacles, that is the clerk. This is the person that is able to control, to be a very good worker, someone who is worried about work, very orderly, very pedantic. This is what Meghan expects from Harry. She expects him to be the one who brings the money to the house. She expects him to be orderly and pedantic, but she looks at him and she looks at a coward, because the Page of Pentacles, especially when it's in the reverse, is a person that is stubborn, a person that is a coward, someone who finds it hard to initiate, and a passive person. So altogether, all of these cards that we saw before, this is what Meghan sees in Harry, and this is the message that she gives him, and because of that, it's very difficult for him to get the control that he needs of, and to be someone who has self-confidence. This is a person that is cheap, a person that is stubborn and finds it hard to think out of the box. This is Meghan telling Harry how cheap he is, because he is maybe not very satisfied with her spending. Another rumor that I heard. And this is her telling him that he doesn't, his value is not so big, and she expects more of him. So this is her influence on him, and the fact that he isn't able to fulfill her wishes causes him to feel even less self-confidence and more of a victim. Now, Harry's influence on Meghan is the Hangman. It came in reverse, but it doesn't really matter, because this is Harry believing Meghan's victimhood narrative. Everything that she says about her being a victim, everything that she says about her feeling that she was wrong, that she did not get, he believes every word that she says. So as long as he believes every word that she says, it doesn't matter how much we might tell him that he needs to regain control over his life. He's unable to do that because she's so strong here in that relationship that he is just feeling less and less able, less and less a person who counts, more of a coward, more of someone who is unable to fulfill Meghan's dreams of her, of the life that he thinks that he promised her. So this is it for the tarot. Now the oracle deck is the angel number oracle, and that is advice for us, really not for them, because I don't think that there is anything that we can tell them that could change anything. So this is how do we deal with their victimhood narrative. And as Susmi said, the minute that they stop with putting themselves in the headlines all the time, that is the time that we will stop doing videos on them. And Sumi said that she will find another topic to do readings and probably about videos, and I will probably find another topic to do readings on, and maybe more positive ones, empowering ones. So let's start with the angel numbers and clear the deck. How do we deal with the victimhood narrative that the Sussexes are throwing our way? What can we do to deal with Harry and Meghan's victimhood narrative thrown in our face? Okay, so let's see what angel number do we get, and we are getting 21. You are highly creative with a strong will to succeed. Your imagination is highly charged. It reveals itself in everything you do, from your sparkling conversation to your most prized project. I am inspiring. Okay, so this is our message, and let's take something from it. I hope you like this, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.